So Shabtai Tzvi, for those who've never heard of him, was this. He was proclaimed the Messiah, I believe, in 1648, something like that, and then, or maybe he proclaimed himself the Messiah. And then when he arrived in Gaza, there was this Kabbalist named Nathan of Gaza who said, "God showed me you in a dream, and that you're the Messiah." And then people started taking it a little bit more seriously, I think. And there was this massive Jewish revival movement. There were people who were doing tshuva, who were repenting and returning to Judaism, because Shabtai Tzvi had brought these mystical experiences to them, so they claimed or believed. And then when he's confronted with, "You're going to be executed if you don't convert to Islam," he converts to Islam, and it's this great disappointment in 1666. And I actually did research on this book that was printed in Amsterdam in 1666, about 2 months after he converted to Islam. Shabtai Tzvi converted, and they have these. The date in a lot of Hebrew books will be what we call a chronogram. So it'll have like a short little sentence that in gematria adds up to that year. And there's this book that was printed in late 1666, and and the chronogram is the year that the Messiah came. And you say, wait a minute, it's 2 months after he converted to Islam. Well, they didn't know that in Amsterdam. The news hadn't come there yet. I found the historical sources of the exact time when they learned that he had converted to Islam. So whoever printed this book, that kind of didn't go over very well, right? Because now they were embarrassed, right? They wrote the chronogram the year the Messiah came, and then all of a sudden, a year later, nobody remembers right? They had this like collective amnesia. Gershom Scholem, who's a historian of the Kabbalah, he talks about how they had Jewish community ledgers where there was a page cut out all over the Jewish world, referring to the year or maybe like 2 year period where the followers followed Shabtai Tzvi, and then they wanted to erase that history. So yes, this was a big and very traumatic event in Jewish history. And to this day, the reason in the Ashkenazi world where you can't study Kabbalah until you're 40 is because of Shabtai Tzvi.